Heads up, we have company.
Go back and face it!
Stalker prevails!
Grovel before me!
Nobody saw that, right? This weapon is like nipples on men. Useless.
Come on. Good going, good going.
Nobody saw that. Right? Oh, wrong weapon for the job. I need to try something else.
Nope, don't use it. Just shoot him.
Oh, I'm enjoying this a bit too much.
Come and face my iron!
Yeah, boom!
Thank you.
Look at that, they broke through here. You climb the rope.
On it.
Climb down. Go back up here. Save. Let's open this up first.
Might we not simply break it?
Pouch of water.
Heads up, we have company.
Before me!
Where are the other unbroken? Disfavored. Was that the only group I killed? Is that it? Or did they pass these guards? Let's go. Oh, they just healed up. Damn it.
It's like nipples on men.
Actually, what are you doing on the ground, man?
Weapon is useless!
Right.
Come on.
Take that.
This weapon is like nipples on men. Useless.
Boom. All right, let's go. One more.
This weapon is useless!
What, I missed? Lame.
Take that.
Okay, he's frozen. Prone.
time to change weapons.
Wrong weapon for the job.
Man, these guys
I
have
need
a
to
lot
try
of
something else.
HP. Stunned. Frozen again. Trying to heal.
Take me if you can. That was beneath me.
It's frightened.
Wrong weapon for the job. I need to try
Stunned.
something else.
This weapon is useless. Smash to pieces.
Finally. Good lord, that guy was stuff. Okay, so let's load these plays first. Sure.
That wasn't so hard.
What is that insignia? Lucky. Huh. I'm fine. I don't need that one. We're good. Save. Let's go in, guys. Let's take control of Stalwart. Let's get us a kingdom. Or a... In this case, it's not a kingdom, really. Because it's regions. So our regency? I don't know what the name is. Yeah, the disfavored already in. Clearly. Yeah, they are. I've been waiting a long time to finish what we started, Regent. You've sat with your cowardice and shame long enough, haven't you? He draws his weapon. If you beg me for death, I'll make it painless. If you want to see me on my knees, you'll have to prop up my corpse for the delight of your inbred cohorts, but don't speak to me of cowardice and bravery. The disfavored needed Kairos' arcana to prevail in the end. I'm sure that an army of lice-bitten rats could have succeeded with those odds on their side. You took a legion hostage and didn't have the nerve to meet us on the field of battle. Coward! Dimitri's advances a step. I will earn Ash's favor when I bring him your head, and no one in Stalwart will weep for your demise. Something in the Regent's demeanor shifts as he catches your eyes. So, the Fatebinder joins the fray. You must not like your odds if you brought so much backup. Much as I loathe seeing you here, Fatebinder, I'm content to deal with two problems at once. Sentinel Stand will be one for the disfavored, not a despicable traitor. I will put an end to the Regents and the disfavored in one fell swoop. I'm surprised that Kairos fostered ambition like yours. The Overlord only seemed to recruit dimwits that are easily controlled. Think he can handle us both. Dimitris, your pet Archon is too far away to hold your hand. Don't call him. His face scrunches, but he looks between the two of you with a mixture of rage and concern. I'll nail you for that.
It's a battle.
Wait, he's fighting on my side now. On their side now. Oh no, okay. He's being attacked by him, I think. No, they're all attacking me. Interesting. So they sided together? Weird.
Right.
I mean, that's fine. I can live with that decision. Dude, Dimitris is already dead. I was short.
Wrong weapon for the job. I need to try something.
They're all bleeding now.
This weapon is useless.
Wrong weapon for the job. I need to try something else.
Come on, come on, come on, almost.
Iron ring for every dumbass mistake.
I'd like to know why they're all on me now. Like, when did that happen?
This weapon is useless.
Nobody saw that, right?
I'll hit you twice next time.
I got it.
The region's almost dead.
Change weapons.
On it.
Blood spills.
He's down now. He's essentially dead.
This weapon is useless.
Learn something every day. Right.
Woo! Oh man, we murdered these guys. That was great. Straight as Erodin, the region lies on the ground, bloodied and defeated. He extends his good arm and drops his weapon. If only I had the breath to spend defying you, but I fear the fight has left me. So this is to be the end of my reign. That isn't dead enough? Hey Corey, what's up, man? Come then, I would meet these last moments with dignity. One of Stratus' soldiers moves between you and Erodin, tearing off her helmet. I won't let you do this. Amelia. A gasp echoes in the shadows of Barrick's helmet. Amelia? Alive? But you come to the region's defense. What is the meaning of this? Explain yourself, girl. Yeah, some of us could use an explanation. And some of us could use a stiff drink, but you don't see me breaking into your home and slaughtering my way to the decanter, do you? She shakes her head. Provisions without end in the cellar, but nothing to distill. I'm not the Norton warlord I once was. She winces at the very thought. Sitting out the conflict made me see this conquest from a different perspective. She looks to you with a plea in her eyes. We were wrong. Kairos led us from the right path centuries ago. We marched south to finish the Overlord's work, but... She squeezes her eyes shut. Don't you see that the tears are the last chance for us to make this right? Amelia, the regent's voice softens. You don't have to say anything further. You were a prisoner, what happened? This is no time for a story, she glares. Not while we have our blades pointed at each other. If any of us survives this, which I suspect is unlikely, I'll tell you everything. But right now, you need to stand down and back away from the regent. The regent is beaten, the keep is ours. Will you cooperate? Never. I know what atrocities you and the rest of Tunon's Hilk are capable of visiting upon us. I know what my father does to traitors and deserters. My father. Her voice catches and it takes a moment to find her words. I love my father, but it's nothing compared to the love I felt for the father of... Amelia, please be silent. Stratus looks to her with desperation. It's over, you understand? I'm dying. Save your strength for more important things. He turns to you with a resolved expression, and you know he almost lost too much blood to maintain it. I'm the last of the regents. If you mean to end the Edict of Storm, then accept my fate. One last chance, Regent. Would you end the edict yourself? And myself to end the edict? No, Fateminer, that is not our way. You may call it uncompromising of me, but my station and my dignity demand nothing less. If you desire the end of the edict so badly, you would have to shoulder this burden. I'm sorry, Regent, but this has to happen. Nothing has to happen. That is a lesson Kairos should learn, but I doubt ever will. Once you have a few seasons behind you, I think you'll understand that better. The regent sighs and leans back, presenting his neck. Before you can take action, you catch Amelia begin to raise her weapon from the corner of your eyes. Amelia stops, Stratus winces, hardly possessing the energy to argue. You have to keep your promise, remember? The focused, determined air about Amelia falls to resignation. She delivers a curt nod and leaves the room, darting you a killing look on her way out. Amelia disappears into another room, unwilling to watch what you are about to unfold. Stratus kneels before you and presents his neck. Please, show mercy, not for me, but... He closes his eyes and lets out a breath. Do it already. Do it, coward. Coward, do it now. And so falls the last enemy of Stalwart. Goodbye, Regent. You take up a fallen sword from the floor and drive it through Stratus Erodin's heart, killing him instantly. Stratus' body falls to the ground and you watch the blood pool onto the floor in silence. There is a feeling of anticipation in the air, but as the second passes, it never materializes into anything. The surge of arcane energy and sense of relief you experience in Ascension All is missing. You hear the howl of the storm outside and realize that the edict endures. What? Beric shakes his head. Kairos' storm are only supposed to rage while the blood of the region lives on. He scans the room with a suspicious eye. Did we miss something? He slept with her and made her pregnant, is what he did. So he kidnapped her and then made her his wife or something. From across the hall, you hear a faint cry, a baby's cry, and realization dawns on you. Fateful promise? Just a regular shield.
Sorry, I can't.
The region has always ruled from this throne in Stalwart for the last 500 years, an unbroken bloodline that has survived through numerous generations.
Do you have eyes on this?
Drug recipe. And 2 sigils I do not own already.
On it.
Okay. Blocking the doorway, Amelia regards you with eyes that brims with tears, yet blaze with hints of her father's grim resolve. She has armored herself in disfavored raiment to face you down. Stay away from my daughter. You will not have her. Oh no. Oh, by the Archon's mercy. Don't let this be so. Barry covers his face and howls softly. Your daughter is a regent heir? Not as if killed Stratus Erodin, she is. Amelia draws herself up and glares at you. She has nothing to do with Kairos or the edict. You have no right to judge her on the basis of blood. How is this possible? My union with Stratus the Younger. Even in remembrance, Amelia doesn't shed her warlike resolve. He showed me kindness behind these walls and taught me about Stalwart and the Tears, the culture and heritage that made these people the pride of the realm. He died in the 3rd year of the conquest. A disfavored spear pinned him to the ground. He fought to defend, and he never rose again. So, okay, so it's not him. He was the grandfather of the child. Did you know this would prolong the edict? We suspected that the bloodline would implicate my baby in Kairos' eye, but I knew nothing for certain until this moment. She shakes her head. Don't ask me to interpret the Overlord's heartless design. I have no love for this edict. If that's what you're asking, it's torn a noble realm to pieces, fractured a pillar of their culture, and ruined countless lives. She releases a heavy sigh and hardens her intense gaze, but I have a responsibility to the people of Stalwart to preserve their heritage and leadership. My father and the other Archons destroyed this nation. She and I, Amelia glances back at the crib, then quickly focuses back on you. We can help put it together. The region remained in sentinel stand for her protection. The edict was its responsibility to shoulders, not hers. She tips her head down in challenge. My daughter will not be another victim of Kairos' conquest. She has the blood of the North coursing through her veins, and no one has the right to take her life. Calm yourself, Amelia. There must be another way. Amelia still has her guard up, unwilling to move from the doorway. What could we possibly do about the Edict of Storms? Regent blood flows through my daughter's vein. Abdicate your line. As Regent Mother, you have the authority. You must merely say the word. Oh, quite right. Lintry licks the tip of his quill as he flips his parchment. And since the Regent Mother isn't of stalwart and can't actually sit as Regent, that should, I hope, terminate the line. I hope not to show preference for how this part of the chronicle unfolds, but I'd rather title this chapter Legal Remedy than Infant Regicide, if given the choice. Hope reflects on her expression for the first time. Is it truly as simple as that? Thanks for revenge! Thank you so much, host, man. Do appreciate it. You're awesome. Is it truly as simple as that? A clerical formality to spare an innocent life? She huffs as much in surprise as derision. If this work, I owe you more than I can possibly repay. Here, the edict damaged this trinket, but you might still find it useful. I, Amelia, formally abdicate my daughter's claim to the Regency of Stalwart, dissolving all ties, compacts, vassals, and holdings. We forfeit all protections and advantages given by the ancient bloodline. She pauses. Was that enough? Let's see. I have an achievement. Lawyered. Exploit the legal loophole to keep Amelia's baby? That's an achievement! I sure hope so, young lady, but we are at the mercy of the edict's logic. Let us hope this formal gesture is enough. It should be enough, otherwise. Lentry scratches his brow, turning away with his thought unfinished. You feel a familiar sensation, the air growing hot and electric, before suddenly erupting in overwhelming waves of energy. At first you think the force of arcane power dissipating is enough to carve the skin from your bones, a sensation you attribute to the Edict of Storm, but it cools just as quickly. The wind buffeting the keep have abated. Outside, an eerie silence pervades the air, a stillness that hasn't visited Stalwart for a long time. You can hear the very symbols that brought the Edict of Storm into being, each syllable proclaiming itself from a newfound corner of your mind. It would seem that the Edict is now a part of you. Thank goodness it worked. You spared my daughter, and here I had come to expect nothing but cruelty from the servants of Kairos. Amelia looks to the crib. Now we have a chance at what might never have been, a life outside of these walls. Got another achievement. Taking a stand. Claim Sentinel stand for yourself. I was here when these storms began. It brings me pride to feel them hand. His chest swells and some of the ingrained rust and grit flake away from his pauldrons, their absence leaving marks that remind you of epaulets. I can feel the wind subsiding. It's still foul here, but not oppressively so. Lentry takes a deep breath and then wrinkles his nose. I never thought I'd live to see so much of Kairos' work undone, casting off the shackles of the storms. It feels right.
Will do.
I just want to talk. Thank you for sparing my daughter, Fatebinder. Amelia offers you a warm smile. What can I do for you? Tell me of the final days of the Stalwart campaign. They took my unit in a night ambush, killed our lookout, and overwhelmed the rest of us before we could stage an organized counterattack. When they took me prisoner, I was the picture of disobedience the entire time and paid back much of the Norton blood they had spilled. They locked me up behind the walls of Sentinel Stand in isolation. I gave them no lack of trouble, so they left me to my cell. Stratus the Younger, the Regent's son, he visited almost every day to check in and make sure my every need was seen to. Her brow furrows. In the Legion, they teach you what to expect of the South. Barbarians, savages, rapists. I hadn't expected to find civility. I continued to debate and banter with Stratus the Younger. He hated the North and I the South, but beyond our prejudices, we discovered more in common than we suspected, much more. I later learned that he suffered wounds at disfavored hands and died in the field. She takes in a deep breath and shakes her head. My Stratus. That was when I knew that the Archon of War had come for me at last. Shortly after, I heard an ironclad force assemble outside of the fortress. Had I a voice in the Legion, I would have told them to pull back. I was being treated with dignity, and we suspected that Kairos' edict would come in short order, not that any of my father's simpletons would have listened. You were in danger. We came to your aid. How many hundreds of Northerners did we lose to the storm, only to hear this? Barrick mutters to himself, seeming to have trouble pairing what he hears from what he knows. The Regent comforted me in my isolation. We had both lost the man we loved, and in no time at all, I realized that I was carrying his grandchild. She turns to you with a guarded look. You know the rest. Okay. Cool. There's a little box there. I'd like to go. Oh, I can go.
Might we not simply break it?
The crib has been meticulously cleaned, while other objects in the hall have traces of dust and metallic powder on them. None of it is found here. Good night, Tony. Love you. Cool. So that's our keep now. And we also leveled up. Let's give ourselves more quickness. We always need more quickness. Swept position. No. Point to fallen ally and command him to rejoin the fight. Oh. Everyone in the party regains a portion of the maximum health when any party member kills an enemy. Okay, that's pretty cool. It's a skill though, it's not like on by default, right? Yeah, no. Let's take that one. Boost to damage, why not? Hi, off-screen person. It was my girlfriend. Okay. So what now? There's no wind anymore. Okay, let's save. Let's take a look at the quest we have. We have to go back to Bled and Mark. So that is what we'll do. Well, actually, it's faster to go here. Oh, no, no, no. Never mind. Go here. Because that just goes back to the previous map. That one leaves. And I want to leave. What are you guys doing?
Consider it done.
Seriously. They just stop there. They're just like, nah.
On it.
You hear him before you see him. He is already waiting, a silhouette in the darkness.
You have done well in the tears. I would judge you are a hunter second to none, save for me. Remember years back when I told you justice is just the name for the biggest sword in the realm? Claiming the Dauntless is part of establishing your own might, your own authority. Even if you dislike its heft, I'd advise you to keep the blade close. It has symbolic value beyond its martial applications.
He studies you appraisingly, pride or maybe even respect, aligning the shrouded features on his face. I could use some practice with wielding its weight.
Really? Now you want to spar?
He sighs, but you know him well enough to tell he's secretly pleased with the request. Anticipating in his response, you attack before he can lunge for you. The sword is ridiculously heavy in your hand, a terribly impractical